Hello, I'm Brigantia, Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Monday, and welcome to our introduction to the goddess Brighid. She's one of my most beloved goddess. She's the first goddesses that I ever made actual contact with, and I'm really enthused about her and about getting to know her a little bit better as we prepare for the coming Amalk season. So first of all, who is she? She has very different forms of her name, including Brighid, Breed, Brighid, Brigantia. These tend to be the most common, and of course, there's a wide variety of spellings. Her parents, for sure, her father was the Dagda, who was kind of the all-father of the Celtic pantheon. Now, her mother, we have two primary suspects. The first suspect is the goddess Danu, of whom very little is known, and some sources consider the goddess Brighid as having supplanted Danu in Celtic spirituality even in ancient times. But suspect number two is actually the Morrigan. Now, the foundation for this is because the Dagda and the Morrigan were both known to have a sexual relationship with each other, and some people do consider them to be married, although both are known to have had children with other people. And it's a possibility that the goddess Brighid may have been one of them, but again, we're kind of on soft ground here. No one really knows for sure. There are a variety of views on the subject. Now, when it comes to Brighid's spouse, we again have two suspects. First, we have Bress, who was a half-Amorian ruler of the Tuatha De Danann. And then for the second, we have Torian, who is thought to be the Irish version of the god Tyrannus, who is the thunder god of the Gauls and the Celts in the Iberian Peninsula. So think Spain and Portugal, that area of the world. Some people even consider him to simply be a different name for the Norse god Thor, which I thought that was a very interesting connection. Again, I haven't delved too far in that, but I wanted to bring forth the possibility just because. Next, we come to the children of the goddess Brighid. By breast, she had Ruadan. After Ruadan's death at the hand of Giobnu during the Second Battle of Mas Chordia, Brighid was wailing and mourning, and this began the custom of keening after a death, which is just intense wailing. And in fact, at one point during Irish funerals, women were actually hired to come and wail at the graveside to make sure that the mourning was done properly. Now, by Turian, Brighid is said to have Brian, Icuar, and Irkarba. I'm very iffy on these pronunciations, so please forgive me. The next thing to consider about the goddess Brighid is she one goddess or is she three? Some myths state that Brighid actually had two sisters who were also named Brighid. It is debated whether or not this particular goddess is one being who has three major aspects or three beings who all happen to be called the same name. Most people I have found tend to relate to her as being one being who just has three really important aspects. And that brings us to what she is the goddess of. First, of course, fire. The fire of inspiration, the fire of poetry, the fire of smithing. She's also a goddess of water, of the sacred wells, of healing, and is a known patron of doctors. Brighid is a goddess of the hearth of home, of marriage and childbirth, motherhood, and a protector of children, specifically because she was not able to protect her own child. I think that's what makes her especially protective of others. She is a spring goddess and considered to be a ruler of the warm part of the year, as well as a ruler of agriculture, animal husbandry, and craftsmanship generally. And Brighid is, of course, also a goddess of magic, of witchcraft, occult knowledge, divination, and prophecy. Now, interestingly, unlike many of her fellow Tuatha De Dananns and other pagan gods and goddesses, Brighid actually survived through the people's conversion to Christianity. She came to be regarded as a saint, and there was a Christianized mythology that kind of helped smooth things over. But her holy site, where they have the convent and the nunnery, it was the exact same place where her old temple used to be, including with the having the sacred perpetual eternal flame. So that was a pretty graceful transition. Clearly, this was a personage that the church abandoned all hope of actually doing away with and simply had to incorporate her in some fashion, a way that they could semi-stomach. And today, Brighid is also embraced by other religions, notably Voodoo, in the guise of Mama Brigitte. She's a goddess who is enormously popular all today. I've never heard a word against her, read a word against her, or I've never really come across anyone saying that they had a bad experience when working with this goddess. She's very complex. She's multifaceted. Her areas of concern touch upon nearly every single aspect of life, and as we go forward in January, we're going to explore her various qualities, and hopefully by the time a Mulk rolls around, we'll all have a renewed appreciation for this goddess, and we'll have come to a better acquaintance with her. So I hope you will come back for more videos in this series. But for now, especially if you've worked with the goddess Brighid and you'd like to discuss her further, please come visit us at Blackbird's Brew. We would love to discuss it with you. There is a link to join in the description box below. And of course, in the meantime, please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, like the video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.